The new generation BMW X3 is considerably more sophisticated and modern than its predecessor, and in some versions the prices have actually gone down. So, is it the best mid-size luxury SUV that you could think about? Well, I'll tell you what I think about it in this review and tell you the best alternatives to it too. So stick around. If you haven't already, please subscribe and ring the bell, and let's get to it. As with the previous version of the BMW X3, there are 3 different versions available, including the entry-level one, which is this one here. It's called the X320, previously known as the 20i, and all versions come with all-wheel drive as standard and the M Sport package standard too, and plenty of other spec and tech as well. Even on this entry-level version, which is $2,000 more affordable than its predecessor, you are getting so much stuff for your money. Things like LED lighting all around the car. It comes with 19-inch alloy wheels with run-flat tyres as standard. This particular car has 20s. There's keyless entry, push-button start, an electric tailgate. You're getting Veganza fake leather interior trim, a massive 14-inch touchscreen media system, and a fully digital instrument display as well. You've got wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, sat-nav, and there's some connected apps available as well via subscription, as well as some standard online apps too. And there's plenty to like when it comes to the standard spec and tech on offer in the entry-level version. But if you want plug-in hybrid tech, you're going to have to spend a fair bit more than $100,000 to get into the X330e. Again, all-wheel drive and M Sport standard, but you do get a few extra features for the money in that higher spec plug-in hybrid model, including a fixed panoramic glass sunroof. There's roller blinds for the rear windows, a heated steering wheel, ventilated front seats, and heated outboard seats as well. So you're getting a touch more luxury for the extra expenditure in that 30e grade, and it also has the capability to do fully electric driving for up to 90 k's. I'll tell you more about the powertrains coming up. But let's also talk about the high grade version. When it comes to power, well, the M50 might be the one that you will want, because it does have a inline 6-cylinder mild hybrid powertrain, and let me tell you, it's got plenty of grunt. But you're also getting more spec yet again on top of the 30e grade, including things like 21-inch alloy wheels. You get standard metallic paint as well, an M-specific kidney grille and different finishes on the outside. There's quad exhaust outlets, a 15-speaker sound system, adaptive M suspension, and an electronic rear locking differential. So do you think any of those would be right for you and your budget, or would you want to consider one of these alternatives? If you're thinking mid-sized SUV and you want something that is very luxurious and easy to live with, well, the Lexus NX could be a great choice for you. It starts at a much lower price point than this, and there's a number of different versions available, including plenty of hybrid options and a high-spec plug-in hybrid as well, which might suit your budget a little better than the plug-in hybrid version of this, because it's about 10 grand cheaper. But I reckon it's a fantastic choice for someone who's looking for the safety of a Japanese, reliable luxury SUV. It could be a really good choice. Another option you might want to go and check out is the Genesis GV70. It is a gorgeous looking thing inside and out. It's got plenty of wow factor, and I do love that powertrain lineup in the GV70. And it could be really great if you're looking for a 6-cylinder luxury SUV for a whole lot less money than this. And would you choose any of those or the X3? I think this makes a really strong case for itself, as I'll tell you as we keep going with this video. This new generation X3 is definitely more sophisticated and more modern looking than the previous one. Less conservative, but I reckon it looks fantastic personally. I want to show you one of the highlights here is you do get these illuminated kidney grills. So there's an LED light around the outside. It's the first time that's been offered on the X3. Now, let's talk about the size of this vehicle. I'll put the dimensions on your screen now. It has the same carryover wheelbase because it's the same platform as before, but it is a little longer, a little wider, and a little lower compared to the previous model, and I think it looks pretty bloody good. And I like the fact that they haven't gone with the full silly door handle trend. These still might be spider hiders to a degree, but at least they are regular-ish door handles. Now let's have a look at the rear. I think it looks pretty good. It just looks a little slabby across this rear section on the glass, but at least you're getting a rear wiper, which some new cars don't tend to have. And in the higher grade models, well, you're getting a sportier looking rear end. In that 50 version, you're getting quad exhaust. Not here though. Right, let's have a look in the boot and see what we're dealing with. Electric tailgate on all grades, which is great. And you can see for yourself, this has plenty of space available. This is going to definitely be family friendly. It's 20 litres more than before, so 570 litres. And if you fold those seats down, 1700 is the claim. There's a fair few features in the back here as well. You do get a retractable cargo blind, which is great. There's a light, there's a blank point there, no 12 volt on that side. You do get a little hook on the side there. And here you do get a 12 volt port, another little hook, which is great, and a little netted section, and another light, which is also bloody great, I reckon. Now, underneath here is maybe where you will be disappointed, because there is no spare wheel, despite the fact that it looks like there's provision for a space saver spare. We don't get one in Australia. Instead, you just get that little tire repair kit. And on the versions with 19-inch alloy wheels, if you don't opt up for the 20s, you will end up with space. You will end up with run flat tires as well. No versions on this test drive today have those run flats, so I can't comment on what they do to the ride comfort, but we'll get to the driving stuff later. Next, we're going to go have a look inside and see what it's like. It is a massive step up in terms of the interior design and finishing of the new generation X3 compared to the last one. Like, the last one was pretty good. This is seriously lovely though. This is very, very primo feeling, and this is the entry-level version, so that gives you an idea of what to expect. Now, let's have a look at what you're getting for your cash. So there's a head-up display up there, which is excellent. There's also this digital instrument cluster, which has plenty of adjustability to it. You can use the controls on the steering wheel to do some interaction with it, but just keep in mind, those controls do get a bit gritty looking. They look pretty dirty, I have to say. I don't love reflective finishes on steering wheels, and this is one of those cars that has it. And you've got your cruise control settings on that side. There are paddle shifters as well. This one is your boost paddle, so you hold it down for a second and it gives you max power, which you will like. Your blinker and light switches on that side, wipers on the other side, and then there's this screen here, this large touchscreen media system, 14 inches plus, and it's got plenty of usability and plenty of features built into the screen. So wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is excellent. And then there are the inbuilt elements to this car. So you've got sat-nav with cloud-based updates, which is excellent. You've also got heaps and heaps and heaps of different menus available to you on this screen. So look at this. There's so many menus, and some of them you can even subscribe to have more. So you can listen to some audio books on Audible, or you can surf YouTube or whatever it may be if you pay extra to have the accessibility to get those things. So I reckon that it's, well, pretty easy to get your head around. There are some bits of it that will take some learning, I've got to say. You've got lots of different camera settings. There's a drive recorder. You need to log in to get access to some of those things, and I'm not logged in. So that's all cool. And yeah, you can have a recently used panel as well. And there's also a drop-down tab up there where you can add some favorites if you wish. That's good. And if you want to just quickly jump into your climate settings, well, there's a fan control button there that will allow you to adjust your fan speed, where the direction of the air is going. And let's talk a little bit more about this ventilation system. It's weird to get excited about ventilation, but this is actually pretty neat, I have to say. So you've got these little, well, I guess they're haptic controls to slide across to adjust the amount of fan speed you're getting, and your actual vent controls are those little toggles down there. But that's cool, right? You've got a demister front and rear there. No recirc button. You still have to go through the screen to add the recirc on if you want it. But I just want to call out, let's talk about these vents over here, because they again have haptic controls. So if I slide up and down there, it will adjust the fan speed coming out of that vent right there. There's a toggle down below to adjust where the air is flowing. As you can see, those fins inside are moving around. And just look what happens when I open the door. Yeah, those controls are part of the door, as well as the locks on this side and your memory settings for the driver. And I just want to also point out that these are lit, these elements of the doors. So I'll put the hazard lights on and look what happens. They light up too, as well as across the dashboard and on that side. It is just really, really neat technology, and I think it looks fantastic and adds to the amazement on offer in this cabin. It just looks great. Now, if you want to, you can also get a textile finished dashboard, which is in a different sort of trim, which is recycled. This is just a soft touch plasticky finish. And when it comes to the seats, they are beautiful. They're a fake leather, but really, really convincing fake. They're soft and supple and adjustable, electric up front, heated as standard. And as I said, you've got memory settings for the driver's seat. Now let's have a look at some of the other functional elements here. This is what BMW calls the jewelry box. I love that name. You've got a wireless phone charger there, another pad there to store another phone, your USB ports to plug in if you wish. And down there you'll see you've got a couple of cup holders. Here you've got an iDrive controller, so you can actually interact with that screen using the controls down there if you wish. If you don't want to use the touchscreen for whatever reason, then you can just quickly and easily use those controls there to jump through menus if you want to. I think that that is a lovely thing to have, although it does feel maybe a little bit old school compared to some of the other cars out there these days, which are all touchscreen. But it's actually something I like personally. I don't like the finish that's been used because, again, it's a fingerprint magnet and it looks dirty even after just a day of driving. And here there's a volume dial as well. You've got some modes and adjustments down here, so you can go into your drive modes, and they actually configure a lot about the car if you are wishing to change things there. So if you want to put it into sport mode, it will adjust your dials in front of you. The ambient lighting all changes, and it makes it feel like you're basically changing the character of the car. I love that about it. And there's other menus down here as well if you want to configure things in terms of the driving experience. So if you hit the little icon down there with three little bars next to it, that'll take you to your car menu, so you can quickly jump in, turn off your lane keeping if you don't want it. You can adjust some elements of the drive experience, and you've also got a park camera button down there. So if you want to see what's happening around the car, you can do that simply by doing that. And it's a really good camera system. Don't mind my parking. I'm just trying to stay out of the way where I am right now, but it's a really, really impressive camera system. And I really think that this is a beautiful bit of technology, this car. There you'll see reversing assistant. That's really handy if you get stuck not knowing where you are. And you've got other different views that you can basically take a look at if you want to. There's even 3D view, so you can see where your car is in space, which is pretty cool. And there's a car wash view. So if you're driving into a car wash and you're not sure where you need to line your wheels up to, that will help. No doubt about that. I love the camera system in this car. I think it's really good and very helpful. Now down here you'll find your gear selector. So it's one of those toggle ones. Park brake there, start stop button there, and in here there's a cupboard center console bin which is nicely sized. Over here there's a glove box. Yep, pretty decent as well. And you've got large bottle holders in the doors. So it's practical and thoughtful. And above you'll find there's illuminated vanity mirrors as well, an auto dimming rear vision mirror, and that right there is your interior camera system. You've got an SOS call button in case you get in trouble, and you've got your light controls up there too. So all of it practical, thoughtful, and well done. It feels bloody premium in here. Let's check out the back seat space though and see what it's like. Rightio, so this seat is set for my driving position. I've got to say, it's not the roomiest back seat. I'm 182 centimeters, 6 foot. My knees are, well, they're clearing that seat just because of the scalloping of the seat. I've got a decent amount of foot wiggle room, but when it comes to headroom, yeah, it's a little tighter than I was expecting it might be. But you do get plenty of great features in the back for family friendliness. So you've got overhead grab handles, there's little coat hooks, there's lights up there as well. And down here you'll see you've got map pockets. There are little points there where you can insert a tablet holder if you want to get one of those for your kiddos. There are vents, again, with very beautiful design, climate control in the back, USB-C ports. There's a huge transmission tunnel though, so just keep that in mind if you're planning to go 3 up in the back of this car. And there are also ISOFIX points in the window seats and 3 top tethers, a flip-down armrest here with some cup holders, and nice big bottle holders in the doors. Soft padded finishes on the doors as well. It all looks pretty bloody good and it feels really good too. I like it. It's just maybe not as roomy as I thought it might be. This is the entry-level version, the X3 20 X-Drive. So it's got a 2-litre, 4-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine with 48-volt mild hybrid tech, and it's got 140 kilowatts, 310 Newton meters. That might seem a little modest for an SUV like this, but it's still got plenty of grunt in real-world driving situations. 8-speed auto, all-wheel drive, and 0 to 100 in 8.5 seconds. Then there's the X3 30e X-Drive, the plug-in hybrid. It also uses a 2-litre turbo 4-cylinder, but it's got a 19.7 kilowatt hour battery pack and 220 kilowatts, 450 Newton meters, and it does 0 to 100 in 6.2 seconds. So it's a bit of a speed machine, but if you want the fastest one, you got to go for the X3 M50 X-Drive, 3-litre, 6-cylinder turbo petrol engine, 48-volt mild hybrid, and with outputs of 293 kilowatts, 580 Newton meters, again with an 8-speed auto and all-wheel drive, and it can do 0 to 100 in 4.6 seconds. So which of those will be right for you? Well, if you want to know a little bit more about the plug-in hybrid model, I've done a shorter video of it. You'll find a link in the description. I'll tell you a bit more about the details of that model there. But let's go for a drive and see what this new X3 is like. Starting off in the entry-level X320, and I have to say, I really, really like this engine and the way that this particular version of this car drives and behaves itself. It's just really impressive. It feels comfortable, it feels composed. Sure, there's a slight firmness to it, but it's got 20-inch wheels with low-profile tires, so that's to be expected, I would say, and it is very, very punchy. Like, even though this is the entry-level powertrain, if I hit the boost button and put my foot down, I mean, it's not lightning fast, but it does get along very promptly and it's rapid feeling. And I like also the way that it behaves at lower speeds. It's very controllable. You don't have to think much about the drive experience. And that's considering it does have a 48-volt mild hybrid system built into this powertrain. So that will basically use battery pack to help out in some situations, and you'll also be doing more coasting and regen braking on the overrun, and when you are actually braking, it'll feed a bit of energy back to the battery pack to run the ancillaries and so forth as well. But it is really very impressive, this powertrain. It's not frustrating at lower speeds either. Some 48-volt mild hybrid cars can be, but this one has a nice integration of the tech, and I just feel like this is pretty much all the X3 that most people will need, not just from the engine and the gearbox and the 48-volt mild hybrid perspective, but also the performance. I think there's plenty of grunt here, and the way that it behaves itself when it comes to the handling too. As I mentioned, all versions are all-wheel drive as standard, and it does handle itself pretty bloody well. I also like the fact that this vehicle feels a bit lighter and a bit more nimble in terms of the agility when you are turning in tighter corners or at lower speeds. So from that perspective, this one ticks a lot of boxes in my mind. I'll just throw it around this corner and see how it handles. Yeah, it hangs on beautifully. It is really, really easy to drive this car with a bit of pace, and no nannying, no annoyances in terms of the safety stuff either. And if you turn off the speeding warning, it will stay off, which is another big plus in my book. So I really like this car, but let's go drive the M50 and see what it's like. X3, M50, sport mode engaged, let's go. Wow! Oh my goodness. Wow, does it throw you back in your seat, and the aggressiveness of this transmission when it upshifts. Fantastic. That is very involving feeling, and you can take matters into your own hands if you want to, of course. There is a set of paddle shifters, and I don't know, I don't think you need them because this 8-speed auto is a bloody winner. It is so predictable and smart in the way that it shifts, and speedy too. I really, really like this powertrain. There's no doubt about the fact that this will be the one that most people will want. Whether you need it or not, as I said, is maybe another thing, but it is so good, this powertrain. 6-cylinder BMW, music to your ears. Let's hit it. Oh, woohoo! Okay, license lost territory there, people. Now, let's talk more generally about this drive experience. I'm going to just tone things down, change the drive mode back to a more sedate setting. Now, this M50 does have adaptive M suspension to set it apart, and it feels super, super sporty in terms of the way that it behaves itself. It is, well, not necessarily punishing, but it's a little bit less forgiving in terms of how it behaves over sharp edges and bumpy bits. But yeah, I think that this is just an absolute corker of a car. It is so good. It's just, I have to stop doing that. And it brakes beautifully as well. So we'll just go through this tight, twisty bend here, hard on the brakes. And the steering is just, accurate. It does have a bit of a weighty feel to it, but it's not too heavy. And yep, can feel the rear biased element of this powertrain. Oh yeah. Yeah, this one definitely eggs you on more. It's definitely M spec. This is a lot of fun and really, really fast. So look, I think that if you're after a performance SUV, the M50 could be the one to go for, but let's talk fuel consumption because maybe it won't be the one to go for. Okay, so we need to talk about fuel economy because it's an important consideration for a lot of people. And obviously there's going to be a hero in this mix when it comes to fuel economy. It's the plug-in hybrid model, the 30E. You'll see the official combined cycle fuel consumption figure for it on your screen now. Yep, that's probably only going to be achievable for the first 100 Ks. For the next 100 Ks, you will see higher, but it is still very impressive because it's got 90 kilometers plus of available EV driving range. It's going to be one of those ones that is a sweetheart of a commuter car. And when it comes to this one here, the 4-cylinder X320, you'll see the claimed number for it on your screen now. And if you're wondering what I've seen over this launch drive experience, which hasn't necessarily been representative of what I usually do, well, the number is on your screen right now. And I think that's still acceptable. And then there's the X3 M50, the performance hero car in this lineup. And well, it's got performance hero car fuel consumption. You'll see the official combined number on your screen. And if you're wondering what I saw in that model over this launch drive, again, spirited driving in that one. You'll see it on screen now. So yep, it's a little bit more of a thirsty one, but hey, you're spending more, you're getting more, you'll just have to spend a bit more to keep it going. And when it comes to the fuel elements of this car, I'll put some fuel tank capacity numbers on your screen. And yes, of course, all of them require premium unleaded petrol. At the time I'm filming this, which is early March 2025, this car hasn't been tested by ANCAP or Euro NCAP, so I can't say what its crashworthiness and tech safetyness is like, but I can tell you that it does come comprehensively equipped with heaps of safety technology as standard. Things like autonomous emergency braking with pedestrian and cyclist detection, there's junction detection, there's adaptive cruise control, emergency lane keeping assist, traffic jam assist, there's blind spot monitoring and recross traffic alert, parking sensors around the car, a surround view camera system, and it's also got a system that can reverse you out of trouble. If you find yourself in a spot where you are uncomfortable reversing out of, this car will remember the last 50 meters that you drove, which is pretty neat technology. And it's also got a drive recorder, so like a built-in dash cam surround system as well, which will be very, very safe and very, very helpful in the event of a crash. Now, when it comes to the airbag coverage, there's dual front, front side, full length curtain coverage, and a front center airbag as well to prevent head clashes in the event of a side impact. Safe? Yeah, I reckon it is. In Australia, BMW offers a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty, and when it comes to the electrification bits, there's battery warranty as well. And when it comes to the servicing, you've got a 5-year, 80,000 kilometre prepaid service pack available. That'll save you money compared to pay as you go, but the car will tell you when it needs to be serviced. It has condition-based servicing intervals, so that is something you might want to keep in mind. And there's 3 years of roadside assistance included with this vehicle. So yeah, seems to stack up okay. I really like this new generation BMW X3. It's got plenty of street presence. It feels fantastic to sit in, and it's very easy to live with. Lovely to drive too, and it could be a fantastic choice for someone who's looking for a luxury SUV at around this budget. I love the fact that there's more spec for less money in this base grade, and I really, really like this base grade. But tell me what you think about it in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I'll see ya when I see ya.